Good evening, and welcome to this week's edition of What's Going On. I'm your host, Pastor Akin Bandele. It is so good to have all of you tonight. I'm so excited about our program tonight. Hey, listen, go ahead and just share the video to invite all your friends to join us in the conversation tonight. And also, if you have not subscribed to our channel, it would be a good night to subscribe. And make sure you press that notification bell so that you will be notified every time we are bringing you contents. We thank you for being our friend. And for many of you that are watching us on Facebook, welcome. Thank you for being my friend. I really appreciate you just being part of our social media family. We thank you for joining us tonight. Again, help us and share the video. Let your friends know we are live tonight talking about the presidential election 2024. This is part 3. So this is going on 3 weeks, and we've had some great conversation. And also, I've had some guests on our show for the past 3 weeks. But tonight, I've got 2 powerhouse young men that are also joining me tonight. So just house cleaning. If you want to ask your questions live, all you have to do is call 713-777-5000. 713-777-5000. We will pick your call online, and you will be able to speak to our viewers tonight, whatever it may be, whether you have a question, you have a comment, whatever it may be. This is your program, and I welcome you. Let me invite, I've got guests tonight, so we are going to, I want to welcome Brother Jonathan. Brother Jonathan, thank you for joining me tonight. Jonathan Myers, good evening, man. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Yourself?
I'm doing well. Thank you for joining us on the program last week, and
No
just being a guy. You speak truth to power, and you don't cap like some of these people do. You just tell it the way it is, and I appreciate you. That's why I wanted you to be on our program tonight. So welcome to the program. And also, I want to welcome our own Lady Betty. Lady Betty, your phone is muted, so we are not able to hear you, but welcome to the program.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening. Brother Kian, how you doing tonight? Your phone is muted also. Okay, we got you. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, sir.
What's wrong? You got pink eyes?
Oh, no.
That shit is pretty dark, my bro. All right,
Yes,
I want
sir.
people to see, look at you in your eyes. Well, welcome everybody tonight. I don't know all our viewers that are joining us. Make sure you let us know where you are joining us from. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask the questions online, either on YouTube or on Facebook. And my AV team will let me know. I want to give a shout out to Mr. OMG, Mr. Olufemi, 801 Visuals. If you ever need great photography or great video, you need to reach out to 801 Visuals. I'm going to pin their information to the screen before the end of our program tonight. But thank you all for joining us. Well, if you, I don't see any comments yet. So if you're joining us, just let us know you are there. I see a few of us have joined us. Well, tonight we will be talking about this 2024 presidential election. Brother Key, are you okay? We will be talking about the 2024 presidential election. So let me just start by saying this. Is everybody online tonight? Are you registered to vote? Brother Kian, are you registered to vote?
Absolutely.
Brother Myers, are you registered to vote?
Absolutely, yeah.
Lady Betty?
Yes, I am.
Yes, you are. So we got all registered voters tonight, people that believe in exercising their rights. Well, let me first ask this question. What do you all think about the switch over of candidates on the, on the Democratic side? And let me tell you why I'm asking that. Former President Trump spent a lot of money trying to campaign against President Joe Biden. But after the first debate that they had, the Democrats started feeling like, we don't think this is going to fly. I didn't even know they could change the type of the ticket that soon, but they did. How do you all feel about that? Is it fair to former President Trump that they changed the game just 3 months before the election, especially when he already had all his attacks ready? Everybody already got nicknames. He already had the campaign going, already feeling good that, okay, I got this election in the bag. And all of a sudden, man, the candidate changed and things started changing. And he's tried to find all kind of names for the Vice President, Kamala Harris, but nothing has stuck right now. I mean, so what do you all think about that switchover? Let me start with Lady Betty.
I think that it was a form of wisdom on President Biden's part. I think that it may not exactly be fair, because in a court of law, if we consider it and you come with information at the last minute, sometimes that is unknown to the DA, it could be thrown out. So I think he didn't have time to prepare to deal with the change.
Okay, all right. It is fair legally, okay? So I just want everybody to know that legally, yes, they could do that. What about you, Brother Myers?
I think it was obvious, Joe Biden's been asleep for the past 3.5 years. I mean, so I just thought it was obvious. He's somebody who's actually competent. I think it should have been done a long time ago. I think he should have stepped down a long time ago. Because apparently he's been asleep for the past 3.5 years.
Okay, past 8.5 years. I think he's only been president for 3.5 years.
He said
I said 3.5.
He said 3.5.
3.5 years. All right. Brother Ken, what do you think?
Whether it was fair or not, I think it was the smart move from the Democrat side to switch individuals. I think that they were losing a battle with Uncle Biden, as you call him, in office. There was no way that the Democrats was going to win versus Trump, in my opinion. Now with the new runner for presidential office, I think that now it's kind of like an even battle of who's going to, outwit the other person.
Yeah, age is no longer an issue. The deal was. What did you say? Brother Myers, I didn't hear you.
I said, no, age is no longer an issue, so you can't talk about that.
That's right.
Hey,
age is not an issue.
Wait, talk about how old is Harris?
Harris is 50. Is it 51?
I missed the Google.
Kamala Harris is, I think
she's 59.
59. I think she's 50. Okay,
yeah.
Thank you very much for that. Yeah. So, I mean, they can't use age anymore. I mean, Kamala Harris ain't sleepy either. So, and she's not old.
Don't you think?
So they can really use age now, except if you want to turn the plate around and say, hey, Donald Trump is too old.
Yeah, he's 78 years old. He about to croak.
And so there is an age issue still, although it's been reversed. It's still an age difference.
Yeah, now who is older now? I mean, the oldest, Donald Trump is old. So, I mean, if we want to use all the personal attacks that he used against President Joe Biden, I mean, all of us are going to get old one day. Trust me. If you live long enough and you don't die, you don't prematurely die. When you live a long time, things break down. Bodies start breaking down, and mind is not as sharp as it used to be. And I don't think there is no need to belittle each other because of age. I understand is the highest office in the land, and they should have thought about, how much energy it takes from you to actually be the president of a nation, president of the United States, the greatest country, afloat in the world. So to have somebody in that at that age, aging like that, and try to push him or try to get him to be the top of the ticket, the candidate for the presidency. I think it's almost unfair to Uncle Biden, like I call him. I call him Uncle Biden because I think he served this country. He gave it all. The brother gave it all. He served this country. He's been through a lot of tragedies in his life. Lost his wife and his son in an auto accident, and lost another son through cancer, and just has been through a lot of tragedies in life, and still been able to go on there. He did a lot for the country, in my opinion. He was a good vice president to President Obama. He was a good vice president to him for the country also. So anyway, we thank President Biden for his service to the nation. That's the best we can do. We shouldn't push down our elderly. We should. I mean, it still has the wisdom. Don't push them down. Encourage them, because you're gonna get old one day. And if you keep doing that, you may end up in a nursing home with no family. So we got to treat each other with love. All right. Well, thank you very much for your views about that. Any of our viewers that are watching me, if you have any comment, just go ahead and type your comment. And also, if you need to call us for to ask questions, I'm going to pin the number that you need to call. The number is 777-5000, 713-777-5000. That's the number to call. I pinned the number on, that's the number to call, 713-777-5000, if you need to get on tonight and ask questions or give your comments. All right, let me come up with this first question that I have tonight. What's your perceptions of the current economy? Because what do you all think about the economy? Everybody is saying, the polls or the research and the news media, they are saying we've had solid growth in America in the past 3.5 years, low unemployment in the past 3.5 years, and declining inflation. And all because of the current administration of Biden-Harris, administration. But we still are not seeing it reflected at the grocery stores. It's not reflected at the restaurants. It's not reflected in the stores, at the gas station. So what's your perception? Let me start with Jonathan. What's your perception of the current economic status of the United States of America?
It's just what you said. They named off a lot of things, but let's be honest. Do you believe that? Do you believe that there was growth? Do you believe there was change? Do you believe that things gotten better? It hasn't in the grocery store, which matter to a lot of Americans. It hasn't at restaurants. It hasn't anywhere else. So even in that statement itself, I just don't believe it's true. No one can honestly say it's true. If you can, let me know where that is and I'll move.
Well, I mean, the research shows it. The statistics show. I mean, the statistics are showing that. I mean, it's not something that's made up. That the inflation is declining. We don't say we don't have any inflation. It's still high, but it's declined in the past 3.5 years. Also, unemployment has gone down in the past 3.5 years. I mean, millions of jobs have been created. But you see, perception is reality, though. Even though we say the unemployment is low and there is growth in the economy and inflation has declined. If you don't have a job, it doesn't matter how much unemployment has gone down. You're going to say, I don't have a job. So again, you don't, in the grocery stores, it's not reflected, even though statistically it shows that the economy is moving in the right direction. Well, Keon, what do you think?
I think that to a point from 4 years ago or 3.5 years ago to now, the numbers do prove that the economy has gotten better. But to Jay's point of view, it hasn't hit me in a way that it has gotten better. Now, I'm a numbers guy, so I agree with the numbers. The economy has gotten better. Unemployment, people have gotten more jobs. There's been some places where jobs were created that wasn't there 4 years ago. I can 100% agree with that. But how is it affecting me? You stated that perception is reality. That is absolutely true. So everything else could go on outside the house, but if nothing is affected in the house, then you're going to say whatever's going on in your life or going on with you and your family. So I think to Jay's point of view, I'm going to have to agree a little bit with that it hasn't hit me better, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah,
I'm a teacher, so my salary is always going to increase a little bit. So that really hasn't affected me as far as like the finance goes. I mean, when Trump was in office, we did get a little money. So I don't really know, as far as like 4 years ago versus right now, how has it affected me?
and we're going to talk about that money that you thought was given to you by President Donald Trump. That money wasn't given to you by him, but we'll talk about it later if we have some time tonight. I know,
Yes,
African-American people, all you have to do is give them some checks and they're all happy, like a cone. The check, the money was given to boost the economy to help because of the unemployment, and it was because of the pandemic.
Right. Absolutely.
Pandemic, people were unable to work. Jobs closed down, schools closed down, businesses were, the restaurants could not open, workers are unable to go. So the government did that, to give unemployment to a lot of people. And then they pump money into the economy to give money to families just to help them out a little bit. So it wasn't a gift from President Donald Trump. I just want to
make if Biden was in office, do you think that we would have gotten that amount?
Yeah, it will have happened. It will have happened. It's not that one man did not make that decision. That decision was made by the Congress. See, one man didn't just say, okay, send everybody a check. That was not the way it goes. It just so happened because of the pandemic, the leaders got together, both Democrats and Republicans, they got together and say, let's help the people. People are dying by the thousands and millions. And people are afraid of what's going to happen. People are in the hospitals. They did a lot of stuff. They even froze people's mortgages that if you didn't have money, don't pay it yet. So the government did that. Now one man. So I just want to make that clear. It could have been a jumping jack, being the president, because it was a pandemic. People would even look at it. When we got the checks, President Donald Trump, to me, I just think is egotistic, want to sign the check. Number one, no president of the United States have ever signed any check. IRS stamps those checks. This was the first time we got a check from the Treasury that's signed by the President of the United States. I mean, that's another story in itself. Lady Betty, go ahead.
Okay, I'm just glad that President Trump didn't veto what the Congress decided to do. But going back to the economy, when you look at it, I consider that taxes are higher. I consider that the cost of living increased. I also look at the cost of buying houses increased, the interest rate increased. So I'm just trying to understand what statistics did they use to come up with the fact that better.
Thank you.
Well, because you are not a statistical engineer, and many of us, we stay in our hood. We don't look at the global economy.
That's not cool.
It's the truth. We don't look at global economy. We don't look at what's going on in other countries. We just think the United States is the whole world. And that's the problem with a lot of Americans. The world is more than just America. And what affects other countries and allies actually affects America. If the goods that we are getting from China, from Russia, from Italy, from every other country of the world, if they cannot move into America, we'll be in trouble. So let's not, I mean, everybody relies on everybody. America produces a lot and we export a lot, but we also import some stuff. So it's a global economy. Global economy suffered during the pandemic. And you have to be a student of economics to understand what is going on. And that's listen, I took economics in high school and I took a little bit of it in college. When people, I won't say uneducated, I mean, I have a master's degree from college, but when people are ignorant, when people are ignorant of statistical data, or when they are ignorant of what is going on in the world, you can only see just your world, just your hood, just your state, your city, your neighborhood. That's all you see, and it's okay. But people that look at the big picture understand that we are not alone. The pandemic affected the whole world negatively. Even I'm originally from Nigeria. The price of gasoline has tripled since the pandemic, to where the government of Nigeria was subsidizing gasoline. So anyway, we're going to move away from that for now. I've got a comment from Fire Librarian. Fire Librarian was talking about age. She said, aging is a real thing in our society. If you are elderly and can still do the job well, one should be allowed to do it. I agree with you, Fire Librarian, but if you are an elderly and you are not coherent and you are not healthy, and you need to get out of the way. Just get out of the way and retire somewhere and drink Kool-Aid and enjoy your life. And that's only my concern. I don't think it has to do with age. It has to do with the weakness and just the strength to do what our current president used to do 10, 15, 20 years ago. I mean, he's over 80 years old. So I can understand that. And to me, he's still a good-looking 80-year-old man to be the president of the United States. You can say all you want, Keon. Many of you young guys, your blood pressure is all whack. Your cholesterol is whack. Now, I can say that about Jonathan. Jonathan is fit because he stays in the gym. He probably look better. He's going to look good at 100 years old. But some of you that eat pork chop and eating pizza every day and don't drink water, don't exercise, don't walk. I mean, by the time you're 50, you'll be broken down like a city without walls. But anyway, aging is a real thing for all of us and in our society. I mean, people sometimes ask me, they couldn't believe I'm 66 years old. I mean, somebody was telling me today, man, no way you are 66. I said, yes, I am. And I saw you climbing the ladder, going on the roof. I said, yes, I am 66. So, I mean, I've seen 55-year people that are walking like they are 90 on about 10 medications. So I count it a blessing to be without any medication, just living life and eating well. Anyway, Fire Librarian, I agree with you. If somebody can say do the job well, age should not be an issue. Well, let me go
we would have still had Barack Obama.
Say that again?
I said we would have still had Barack Obama.
We will still have him?
Yeah, if it wasn't a cap on how long a president can be in term.
Yeah, you can only run 2 terms.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, let me go to our next question tonight. Again, our viewers, if you have any question, feel free to call us or type it on your message and we will be able to answer your question. The number to call is 713-777-5000, 713-777-5000. The next question I have for you all, there's been a lot being said on the television, on the radio, on different channels about reproductive rights of women, abortion. What is your view about the government getting involved in the health care of a woman? Now, before I ask you all, personally for me, I think the government needs to stay out of our bedrooms, and they need to stay away from my wife. Let my wife and her doctor determine her health. Let her make that choice with her doctor. Now with some old fart in Washington trying to determine what my wife needs to do about her health. So that's just my views. That I mean, women should have the right, their own reproductive right. They need to be able to choose their doctors, their health, and what they want for their lives, not the government getting in the lives of our women. Brother Jonathan, I know your beautiful wife, you know, she's in, she delivered babies and all that. She's in healthcare. What do you think about taking that right from women?
I believe it shouldn't be something that's decided by the nation. It's something that should be decided by the state. And I think in turn, people should should get out and vote for the people they want in their counties, in their cities, in their states, making these decisions. Having the government itself as a nation decide for every single state, I don't think that should be. I want less of the government's influence on my life as possible.
But do you think the local state should even get involved in a woman's reproductive right?
If they're paying for it and there's programs like Planned Parenthood, then absolutely.
So if the government is paying for it, they should be able to make decisions for the women by their health. So let me ask Lady Betty. Lady Betty, what do you think?
Okay, because of the way, this is not everybody, but the reason why laws are set.
What is not everybody? Explain that to me. What is not everybody?
Not every human being will do evil or will do wrong. Okay. So there has to be a law set in place for those that will be evil, right? So you ever heard this term? It's a term in the world, the good have to suffer for the bad, because there are people that are doing damage to these children where these children don't have a voice. I hear we are talking about the adults in this matter, but that child, being that it's unborn, cannot communicate, has no choice but what the mother or the parents or the government decides. So somebody has to set a law because of the evil, the wrongdoing.
Okay, how far we're gonna go? Your husband is having too much sex with you, so the government can get involved, that you are wearing that woman out because she's complaining to her doctor that she can't sleep at night because my husband want to have sex every night. So but now the government can go, hold on. I'm talking about reproductive right. I'm talking about any government, state, local, or federal. They need to get out of people's bedrooms, get out of people's lives. Go. I mean, that's just my view. Get out of my life. Go run this. Go run the city. Go run the state. Go run the nation. Get out of my bedroom. Get out of my house. Let me do what I want to do in my house. Let me worship the God I want to worship. Don't tell me which God to worship. It's a freedom. And if we're not careful about these things, it can get so bad when you go elect an evil leader that will literally take all your rights away, that you cannot vote, that you cannot even have 3 children. After you have 1, we're going to take your womb out now, because you can only have 1. We're going to give you a license to have children. That's none of your business. If I want to have 12 kids. Okay, to me, your business is don't give me any money to feed them. That's your prerogative.
You know what?
I don't think it's your right for you to tell me how many kids I can have, for you to tell me what I need to do with my body. If I want to drink myself to death, I ain't hurting you. That is my business. I mean, anyway, let's ask Key. Key, what do you think about women's reproductive right? Should they be left in the hands of the state and the federal government?
I don't think Lady Betty truly answer the question. Mama, are you pro-abortion or against abortion?
My understanding is this, that the child, because the child has no voice, that there should be some guidelines concerning whether or not women should abort these children.
So that's pro or against? You got to choose. You in the middle.
Choose you this
Well,
day.
I think everybody know my stance. I don't believe
Everybody doesn't know. Everybody doesn't know. I may have thousands all over the world. I don't even know you. Just
Okay,
to
well,
understand.
listen, my name is Betty, and I am against abortions,
Okay,
killing
thank
an
you.
innocent child.
Thank you.
Okay.
What about you, Key?
I am also against abortion. However, I do think there should be some laws as well against certain circumstances, as in rape or things of that nature, because we know we are definitely in a corrupt world where people feel like they can take advantage of underage women, women, period. So I do think there should be some type of laws, but I am also against really killing anybody, unless self-defense.
Okay, let me ask you a question then. I heard a story of a couple that they already have 2 children. I think they had 2 girls and they wanted a boy, so they try again. And they were so happy when she conceived a boy. And about 6 months into the pregnancy, she went for a checkup and they couldn't get a heartbeat. And then she went back a week later, no heartbeat. So after about 30 days of not being able to get a heartbeat, the doctor told her in the state where she was, they could not abort that baby. She has to carry that baby to term and give birth to a dead child. Now, to me, I think that's cruel to have to carry a dead human being inside your womb for additional month or 2 just because the state is against removing that innocent baby that passed away for whatever reason in the woman's womb. That is where the problem lies. Can anybody want to, Brother Myers, can you respond to that?
I hate the fact that we're trying to paint Donald Trump as an evil guy because of things he said, and no one here actually supports him and listens to him talk other than the clips that they see on the internet. He completely understands that there are special circumstances. He completely understands about
Hold on, I have a caller on the line. Caller, just hold on. I'm going to put you online. I'll put you on in a few minutes, so just hold on. Go ahead, Myers.
Yeah, he completely understands about extreme circumstances. I think the problem is that people are just doing it because they can do it. We don't talk about the hundreds of different types of contraceptive that people can use. We don't talk about sex education, which they took out of schools, but they put in rainbow activity into schools. So I think the conversation is cool, but we don't have the real conversation. That's all.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Brother Myers. Thank you, Lady Betty and Brother Keon. I've got a caller. Caller, introduce yourself. How you doing? Welcome to our program tonight.
Hello, Fire Librarian.
Thank you, Fire Librarian. Thank you for joining us on our program tonight.
So I wanted to make a comment about the reproductive rights. Here's the thing, and I'm not saying I agree with it or not, but if a person chooses to have 12 children, can they afford to have 12 children? The government has to pay or help take care of these children. So I do think in some instances that the government should have some say.
On how many children you can have?
Not as far as how many children you can have, but if the government's paying for the schooling, if the government's paying for lunch programs, if the government is paying for this, like at some point, the government should have some say if they're putting out money from the American people from taxes, property taxes, or whatever type of taxes.
Okay, let me ask you, file librarian. Well, who's going to make the determination how many kids a woman can have? Are they going to base it on her income? Or...
No, I think it has to be laws made, some type of laws to protect children. And I give an example. I saw on the media that because in this state, they decided to do away with the abortion law, then now the deaths of children are going up. They found one in a ditch, I believe in Harris County, another one died. So there's been 2 deaths
in the
of
past
infant
48
children,
hours.
like weeks old, just born because they weren't, you know, because the decision was made for them.
Okay, okay. So, file librarian, let me ask you then, will you vote for the women reproductive rights? I mean, will you want on the ballot to say every state, like Brother Myers is saying, for state to handle it, that you don't have a right when it comes to the production of a child?
I think maybe some research. I definitely don't think it should be a country decision, or perhaps maybe a state, but if not a state, maybe what do you call it, a county decision based on their numbers and the research. Maybe it could be a voting thing within that specific country. I mean, not country.
In the county or whatever. Well, the issue, let me tell you the issue with that. There's a loophole with that. If you do it by the state, and let's say in one state, they allow women to have rights to their bodies, let them and their doctors decide what they're going to do. What's going to happen is women that have either pregnancy that the mother may lose her life will move to that state to go get the abortion done. So if you make it states, and 3 or 5 states in the United States have the rule or have the women reproductive right, people are going to be traveling to that state to get it to take care of themselves. Just like with marijuana. I mean, with marijuana, the same thing. Some states is legal, some states is not legal. Guess what people do? People that have children with seizures, that's taking CBD oil and all that marijuana products to help their child's health, they are moving out of the states that made it illegal and moving to the states where it's legal, where they can get, medical marijuana to help their child.
And that's their right. That is their right. I mean, it happens with other things, like, for example, gambling in Texas. I think they recently passed a law about gambling, but people in Texas forever travel to
Louisiana and Las Vegas. That's right.
Thank you.
What's the difference? But thank you for taking my call.
Thank you very much, file librarian. We thank you for joining us on this call tonight. We appreciate you. God bless you. Well, you are her file librarian, and her views. She feels like, yes, there should be some kind of law, just like Kian said, to guide and to make sure that people don't abuse children. And but personally, I still think, in my opinion, and this is I'm pro-life, okay? But I still think that decision should not be in any local or state or federal government. It should be the decision between a woman and her doctor. That's what the woman, her husband, and her doctor.
I agree.
That's my opinion, but it's all opinions. Well, Mr. O. Olufemi said the government has always been involved. What's the problem now? Lady Betty, one of our viewers, that's my AV guy, Olufemi, said the government has always been involved. So what's the problem now? Lady Betty. Okay, your mic is muted. Let me go to Brother Kim. Brother Kim, go ahead.
Wait a minute, Pastor, don't pass me
Hold
up.
on, Lady Betty. Your mic is muted. Come on.
It's not
Keon,
muted.
Keon, go
It's
ahead.
She can go. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Keon. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll come back to her.
So when he made the statement that the state has always, or the country, he said the country or the state?
It doesn't matter whether the federal, state, or local.
No, I'm talking about the direct comment that
the comment is the government has always been. It doesn't matter if it's a federal, local, or it doesn't matter. He just said the government has always been involved. So what's the problem now?
I don't think that's ever going to change. Whether who's in the office, I think the government is always going to have their hand in the women's right. It's always been a topic, since way before. It's going to be a topic moving forward. I don't think the government is going anywhere as far as the topic about the women's rights. I was just doing some research, and it said that the Biden-Harris administration remain committed to protecting the reproductive rights, ensuring women make their own decision about their own bodies. So the government is always going to make a decision. It doesn't matter who's in office. They're going to have their hand in the women's right.
Okay. Lady Betty, go ahead with your comment.
And that's a good point. So they either make a law for or against it, but the government will be involved. But I want to go back to something that Fire Librarian said about these women that are killing their children. So that is letting you know men and women will not abide by the law. So I don't know if they think they're making a statement by murdering their children, but that is what they're doing when they have abortions. So what is the difference? You're going to take it and go put it in a ditch, you're murdering it, or let a doctor abort the child, it's still murder. So I don't know what kind of stance they trying to make with that, but it's the same thing. They're just letting us know, I want you to know I'm going to kill these children regardless of the law that is set or not. And this is what I find in humanity. They disobey laws. Even though laws are set for a reason. And the government, like you all have said, have provided housing for them, have provided finances for them, has provided ways for them to get food for their children, milk for their babies and diapers. And now they don't want the government to be involved in their decision. I'm familiar with the attitudes of human beings.
Thank you. Brother Myers.
Once again, we're having the wrong conversation. We're not teaching sex education. We're not teaching contraceptives. You know what I mean? There's 100 different ways, but all we get to hear about is put a condom on, fellas. There's 100 different forms of contraceptive. There is. Mm-hmm. So the fact that you get to, and let's just say the women that don't abort these babies and they have these babies, there needs to be a cap. You can't keep receiving government assistance because every year you keep making a new mistake and you got 8 kids by that time you're 26. You can't keep receiving government assistance and living on houses and things. There are a certain group of people who manipulate the system, who have kids so they can get a check every February and March. So I think we're continually to have the wrong conversation because it's a good talking point. We're not talking about what the real issue is. We're not talking about how STD rates in Houston are crazy. So if you don't have a baby, you get an STD. We're having a wrong conversation. So yes, the government needs to step in and do something, because until women learn or men learn that there's a consequence for your action, they're going to keep relying on the government.
Yeah, the best way is not to have sex at all.
Like in Nigeria, they don't care if you have 40 kids. Government not going to give you a single penny. It's going to be you and your extended family. Okay? They ain't no food stamps. There ain't no housing. You have 20 kids. All of you are going to stay in one room, piled on top of each other. So again, and people still do it where they have a lot of kids, 10 kids, 11 kids. So, but the government of Nigeria will not, there ain't no food stamps. There ain't no housing. You're going to go live with mom and them. It can be 30 of you all in one house. That's the decision that you made. But I think the United States of America, I think we cause a lot of the problems, causing people to be lazy with the handouts that we are giving them. You got women that like Brother Myers said, they want to have children to collect a check. And then they want to drug the children to say the children is crazy so that they can collect checks. Yeah, I know a family that's what they do. That's how they make a living. Having these kids and put them all on drugs and tell them they are slow or whatever, and getting a check from the government and have housing and they don't want to work. They want to stay home and sleep with other men. And I mean, you lay down with a man, you should know better. Anyway, thank you. I have several comments. This is so crazy. Alice, thank you. I agree with you, Pastor Tasha. I feel that too, Lady Betty. Thank you for your comments online. If you have a question, you can call 713-777-5000. And if you want to bring your, you want to comment. Twyla said, put a cap on the assistance. Now, that put a cap on the assistance.
Thank you.
Well,
now let's stop all the babies.
If you need assistance, we're gonna give you $100. $100. That's all you're gonna get. Not $1,000 per child and all that stuff. We're gonna help you as somebody that's compassionate, but we're not gonna create a situation where you want to be lazy and let hardworking people pay for you to lay at home with your lazy self. And
that's what we've done.
You're really just a cheap prostitute. If the truth be so told. You're just a cheap prostitute, spreading your leg wide and letting everything that get to the base get a hit. And now you're pregnant, and then you want everybody else to take care of these children. So yeah, I agree with Twyla that they need to put a cap on the assistance. You can be on that government assistance for about a year. After that year, you're on your own. You are on your own. After that 1 year, you need to get it together. And if they want to help you out for another year, you're going to have to apply. They want to see how many jobs you have applied to. What are you doing? Can you start a business? Can you fry chicken? Can you go clean houses? And instead of giving them assistance, give them a job. You don't have a job? Okay, come on. We're going to let you clean the government building.
Train them.
I think Pastor did something at one of.
So I'm going to go on to my next question, you all. I know we can stay on that all night. Right now, let's talk about the Democratic National Convention that's going on right now in Chicago. I've been watching it. I've been watching it every night. I know the race is between, former President Donald Trump and our current Vice President running for presidency, Kamala Harris. The convention has been good. It's been a happy convention. I think it's really electric from what I've seen with all the speakers. Let's talk about the speakers. I mean, the speakers that I've liked, and I don't know. I still think President Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama, those guys are so educated. They are orators. I mean, I'm talking about just the speaking style and being able to lay out plans. And then I heard a little bit from Oprah Winfrey also yesterday. What do you all think about all the speakers that have been in that convention? Let me start with Lady Betty.
I think just what you said, they are great speakers, but it doesn't mean that what they're speaking is truthful. I enjoyed hearing them too, and they made very good statements out. They lifted up this woman to the max. They lifted up Wallace is his name, the person that's running for vice president. Boy, they went all the way to their families and how they grew up and the colleges that they went to. They did an excellent job to convince people to vote.
Remember, the convention is just to show who these candidates are so that the nation can see them. It's not about policies or nothing. It's just to humanize them, to let people that don't know them know who they are, where they came from, who is their family, how many times have they been married, how many kids they got, and are they beating up their wives or whatever, or are they thieves, or are they felons, or do they have homes, do they have businesses, are they serving the military? It's all about just revealing the candidates to the nation. I mean, Republicans have their convention too, and it was the same thing, just a dog and pony show. So we hear you, though, Lady Betty. What about you, Brother Keon?
I think that It's so hard because it's both of the parties is crazy. Like it's when you listen and you're listening and you're watching and you go and do your research, it's hard to choose, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion. It's hard to choose. Do you go with a guy where you saw what he did when he was in office, or do you go to a woman who's promising this and promising that? In my opinion, I think both are not the, and don't send me no hate mail for this. All right. I think both are not the answer for the issues that we are going with. So I'm really still undecided. I am leaning towards what I saw on the Democrat side a little bit, just simply because of I'm not gonna lie, Trump said some stuff that kind of rubbed me all the way wrong. That I'm trying hard to like bypass it, but he said some stuff that sounds like slavery to me. And although that there are some nowadays slavery that's going
Both
on,
of
you
them,
know what I mean?
both sides say crazy.
Correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's just he said some stuff that he's trying to change that I don't think I like that change at all. At all.
You never have to vote again.
Yeah, for real. No,
I think Oprah Winfrey alluded to it yesterday. What about you, Brother Myers?
For sure.
Even a clown can draw a crowd.
Yeah. But okay. You're talking about the crowd. Why is this man so obsessed with crowd size?
Hold on now. To what Sister Betty said, they say a lot of good things. They talk a lot of good game. I don't believe you. The black people, and I'm only going to say black people because that's who they're appealing to right now, in my opinion, and the migrants. You've had our vote for so many years, and our cities that are democratically ran are the worst. Chicago, New York, Detroit, Denver, out of all places, is now changing. It's liberal. Let's talk about California, LA, Sacramento. It's the worst. So I hear you, but I don't believe you.
I see. Well, I've got Yolanda, let me get this comment online. Yolanda said a lady in Houston was fined by Apartments Association for posting a sign of her desired presidential candidate Harris in the window. Is she wrong for posting? What's your thoughts? Is she wrong for posting her desired candidate that she wants to vote for and win on her window? Lady Betty, what do you think?
Was it on her window at her house?
Yeah, in her apartment.
Apartment is. That's not church.
To her?
It's not.
It's her apartment.
Okay.
Check the lease agreement.
Yeah, you pay rent.
Lady Betty,
so it's,
answer that question, please.
So if it's her apartment, unless she's violating something regarding the lease about advertisement, okay, if there's something written in the lease that you cannot advertise, then I could understand her being penalized.
Okay.
So it would all depend on what's in the lease.
Okay. Now, I'm going to address that before I go to my other two guys. Hey, I'm in my office. I advertise my water store. I've been to a house where there's a sticker on the window that says there's a child in here that has autism. So somebody paying for their space. It is wrong for you to go to the space that I pay for. I'm not bothering anybody. I've seen people with bumper stickers on their cars. What's you going to see? So the government can now stop you. The police can stop you with a sticker.
No, Pastor. I think we're talking about what's in the lease. Okay, just like you're saying about laws, when laws are set, you have to abide by the laws. So when you went into that apartment, probably way before this election ever came up, I know that they don't want people come soliciting in those complexes too. So when you sign that lease, many times you don't read all the clauses that are in the lease. And it is
so what you are saying in the lease may have said that you cannot post anything on your window. Yes. Okay, let's leave that alone.
That's the only way she can receive it.
Yeah, if this is my apartment complex and I'm leasing it out to you, I'm renting it out to you, If I don't want your poster on my apartment, then I don't want your poster on my apartment. If that's in the agreement, ma'am, you got to take this down. Now, if it sounds like she must have did it multiple times, because I don't think it should be a fine off the rip, which means like, hey, you post a sign, you get a fine. Now, I think there should have been some type of communicative warning. Hey, ma'am, do you mind taking down this this poster that's on your wall? That's human interaction. I think that's human interaction. I think that should have been more so of a warning. So I'm going to go on the limb and say that she probably had it up multiple times. If not, I think they're wrong for finding her. But is it legal? It probably was legal for them to find them if they wanted to.
We don't know that. We don't know that.
That's what
landlords do illegal stuff all the time.
That's what I'm saying.
Brother Myers, what do you think?
She lived in an apartment. They gave her a fine. No apartment's going to find you if that's something that you can do. So apparently, it's in the lease that you can't do it. I don't think an apartment is stupid enough to find someone that's not about something that's not in the lease when a lawsuit can't be brought up. So I'm going to assume because she was fined, it's in the lease.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your views. Let's go to one of our viewers. T. Roberts said, Lady Betty, real recognize real. Yeah, that's true. When I see a felon, another felon.
There you go again.
When I see a hustler recognize hustlers. I mean, T. Roberts is right about that, though. Real recognize real. Just like, you can get in a room of 100 people. People that are liars going to find each other. People that are dope dealers or dope smokers will find each other. You don't have to introduce to each. I mean, so I totally agree with T. Roberts, brother Miles. What you say? Where we go again? Real recognize real. That's fact.
No, you're not being fair.
Oh, that's not
so.
Being
fair. He low key not.
You're not being fair at all.
Why am I not fair?
He's biased. Pastor's biased.
Because
why am I not fair? No, let me hear from Brother Myers.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because I haven't been paying attention to this election the past 3 months. I've been paying attention to what's been going on for the past 3.5 years. So when it comes to Kamala Harris, no one wants to talk about the fact that she willingly knew about people being not guilty and refusing to do DNA tests because it will ruin her record. No one wants to talk about the backhanded deal she did in her own state. Her own state is trash. So like, we're not being fair. We're not being fair at all. I know who you're voting for, but I just feel like you got to be fair. We got to be fair here. I
guess, my decision to vote for one person or the other is based on adult in the room. When I find somebody that want to be the president of the United States acting like a child, just throwing tantrum, your policies can be great, wonderful policies. But when you're acting like a child, what you going to do when you have to deal with all the presidents of other nations? I just want, President Donald Trump, I want him to be an adult, to grow up. I mean, when you start worrying about crowd sizes and comparing your crowd size with Martin Luther King Jr. crowd size, I saw a video where they said, "Oh, Kamala Harris is very beautiful," and leave that alone. But then in your campaign, well, I'm more beautiful than she is. That's a child. To me, that's a child play. Or I look better than her. Let's talk about policies. Talk about your policy. I don't like bullies personally. I don't like bullies. I don't care how smart you are. I don't like bullies. And I just think because of his power, he bullies people too much. You can have it. Like I said at the church, you can know Greek and Hebrew and can preach. People don't care. They want to know, do you love me? Can you see me? Do you love my family? Can you feel what I'm feeling? People, you can be the best preacher in the world and the worst pastor you could ever be. Because, it's not about what you know and how good you speak and all that. It's how people feel about you. Do you love me? Do you care about me? Do you have empathy for what I go through? that is the issue for me personally. I'm not saying that's for everybody, but that's for me personally. When I see somebody that's always demeaning people and pushing people down and just divisive, rhetoric and all of this stuff, it just turns me off. I don't care if you say you're going to give me $1 million. It won't even affect me because you already turned me off by your rhetoric, the way you treat people that are down and out. And that's been my issue. If the brother would just shut up and just tell us the policies and tell us, what you're doing, what you have done, what you're going to do, and stop the name calling and demeaning people and all that stuff. It's just, to me, you may say that's not a Christian thing. It is a Christian thing to love other people, to not make fun of people that are handicapped, to show empathy for people that are down and out, to not cheat people, because you're a wealthy man, to be fair. That's that's my thing. I'm voting for freedom of speech, freedom of religion. And even though, some of the stuff on the platform, on the two platforms, both of them are lying anyway. They're not going to do what they said they're going to do. They get in office. One part of this, they make promises. Listen, promise was made 7 years ago. We're going to build a fence in southern border and Mexico going to pay for it. Nobody's talking about that now.
Let me tell you what. Can I tell you why?
Why?
Can I tell you why?
Why?
It's because Democrats tried to sneak in other agendas under his wall agenda. So the reason why he decided not to go with the wall was because, in his opinion, I'm trying to deal with the wall. Why are you guys trying to sneak under other stuff underneath this bill that I'm trying to pass?
Okay, I see. So they package all the bills into the.
Yes.
Okay, I see your point. But okay, what about Mexico going to pay for? Did Mexico pay for any of the walls that we built?
I was about to say,
you guys didn't give them a chance.
No, they built some walls. They built several
he definitely
walls.
built some walls.
Did Mexico pay for any of it? I don't know. Did Mexico pay for any of it?
No, Mexico did not pay for it. I think that, but he did try to build a wall. I think he embellished, and I think he was trying to play, antics by saying Mexico is going to pay for it, being funny. But he did do what he said he was going to do, which was, start to build a wall. It never got completed. But look at the outcome. It never fully finished. Right.
I think too that people do make promises with the intent of fulfilling those promises, but we all know that men break their promise. If we would even look within ourselves, there are promises that we made, and at the time that we made them, we were sincere, but because of situations and circumstances, we have let go of those promises. And I see this a lot happening when you're in a good mood or you're in a certain place, you're making all of these promises. And then when something bad happens, you forget all of those promises.
Okay, Fire Liberian. She said, like First Lady Obama said, there's no perfect candidate or person, so we have to make a choice of the better candidate. Okay? Thank you very much, Fire Liberian. T. Roberts, emotions. Most people vote purely on emotions. Well, we are emotional beings. So,
but this is not a decision you should make on emotion.
Emotions, yeah.
Yeah, but that's what she said. She said most people vote based on emotions.
True.
So T. Roberts is correct about that. And all these things are determined before election year. Now you know me. Oh, I don't know what she's talking about. All right, T. Roberts, name a president that all the election issues were done. I'm listening. T. Roberts said for you all to name a president where all their election issues were done, where they make all these promises and all of it were done. T. Roberts, I don't think I've seen any of them that did everything that they promised they would do.
And so, I don't think they have either, because this is not a dictatorship. It is where the people rule. So even though the president might set an order, he has to go through several hierarchies to get what he wants done. He cannot do it alone. That's the way this government is set up.
Well, Trump is trying to tell us that he's about to change it into a dictatorship. Did y'all not hear him say that? Or
yeah.
I think you need to go listen to that full video.
Oh, I
did.
did. The right after I watched the whole thing, and he said it, and that's what I'm saying. When Trump say something, y'all need to believe what this man is saying.
He means it.
Because he gonna do it.
But
Y'all
do
keep
you
messing around and not believing Trump. Trump go do what he said he go do.
Okay, listen, I haven't decided, but if you really listen, have you formed an opinion by what he meant? Because a lot of times some of us speak things that other people perceive something different. And I'm learning to ask, what did you mean by that? When you
Thank you.
said that, what did you mean? So that I don't have my own personal perception of what you meant.
So I use
So let me ask you a
pastor's
question.
message.
When somebody say the childless cat ladies are running the country, so you need to ask them what they mean by childless cat ladies.
No, there
They
are some
are.
that are obvious, okay? But in his statement, I hear him telling the Christian
What is
people that-
okay? But Lady Betty, stop it. What is obvious about? When I first heard it, I didn't know what it meant. Yeah, but so what are you talking about?
okay,
When I
I'm
first
not
heard childless cat ladies, I didn't know what that meant.
see, but when you do know what it means,
Did you know what it meant when you first heard it?
No, okay. When somebody know what you meant, right? If I know about catless ladies and I know that they
No,
have
childless
no babies,
cat ladies.
okay, I understand it. But when I don't understand, like what you're talking about, when I don't understand about this, then I could have a predetermination of what you said without asking you, what do you mean by that? I think before we make stipulations, we should ask, what did you mean by what you said?
Or I
That
can go
don't
see the post
misinterpret what he said.
text.
Okay, hold on, Keon. Let Betty finish your point.
No, he can go ahead. I'm done.
All right, Keon.
I was saying that, or you can go see the post text, the pretext to understand the context.
The context.
I went to go watch the video before that and went a deep diving on what he meant way before that, because there were some things I was like, hold on, let me rewind this and let me do some research about what is he talking about. And so I went back to the text that he was actually talking about, and he's actually going to try to make sure that we don't have to vote again. He's going to actually, y'all got to deep dive into what the words that he's saying. Like he's true.
It's not
he's
possible.
not just talking about Christians. He's not just talking about Christians.
I think his
He's just
verb.
not talking about
Okay, I don't
Christians.
want. I want to hear one person. Go ahead, Keon.
No, I'm just saying he's not just talking about Christians. He's talking about he's going to change the way that voting is going to be structured if he's in office. That's what he said. Now I don't know if he's going to do it, but that's what he said.
I don't know if he
Okay.
can do it, but yeah, that's
Yes.
brother Keon,
Can I
brother Myers.
Can I respond? America is a business. Trump is a good businessman. He's not used to red tape when it comes to getting business done. The same thing with the wall. People who always want to be like, what happened to the wall? Your Democrats tried to slide in things under that bill that had nothing to do with the business.
With the wall. Okay.
If I'm talking about apples, let's deal with apples. I don't want to hear nothing about oranges right now. So for him being in business, successful business, and now having to deal with a country that is a business, that's a failing business, the red tape is getting in the way of business getting done. That's another way of just saying. So when he says a dictatorship, if you never listen to him because you don't like him because of your emotions and your feelings, you don't understand what he's been saying for years. When he first said, I'm going to drain the swamp, what did people think? There's a lot of shady stuff that's going around. We question his taxes. Why are you not paying taxes? Well, your Democrats helped make the tax cuts. Change the tax laws and I'll pay taxes. But you won't do that because your donors benefit from it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but we can't start talking about shady stuff right now because all of them are shady.
So now we can't talk about
it.
Now, well, hey, I want to thank you all for joining me tonight. Hey, we're going to continue this conversation for several weeks to come. So the last question I'm going to ask you, who is favored to win the election, you think? Who
Trump,
do you think? Just prediction. I
Trump
know it's
is
going to be a very
win.
close race.
Very
But what do you all
unfortunate. Trump
predict?
is going to win. Trump is going to win.
Okay. He said Trump is going to win. Lady Betty,
I'm not certain, Pastor, who's gonna win.
just give us your prediction.
I don't want to give a prediction, Pastor.
I want you to give a prediction. Just we're not saying you are right or you are wrong. Just give us your prediction.
I think that Kamala Harris is going to win. If we are using prediction, I don't want to.
I'm not saying prediction. That doesn't mean you are right or wrong.
I am being forced to say this.
I'm not going to listen. I'm not telling you to. I'm not asking you to prophesy. I just say just prediction. Just what do you think, Brother Myers?
I think the American people are emotional. So they're going to go with Harris. I think that I really do think that she's probably going to win because of she's giving out concerts. She got Megan Thee Stallion working. You know, she's bringing out Oprah and Alabama. So, you know, the people love a good word salad. But yeah, she's going to play on emotions. So Harris.
I see. All right. Well, family, I want to thank you.
Hold on. What's your prediction?
My prediction is the best candidate going to win.
Nah, you gotta give an answer.
I'm just messing with you. I really think Kamala Harris is going to win. I just think she will because of what I've seen in both conventions. I look at the Republican convention. See, I watch body language. At the Republican convention, I didn't see any ex-presidents really come up to say, okay, Trump. Just to remember the conventions are dog and pony show. If you're going to be a good salesman, you need to do a good dog and pony show. That's all it's all about. They're trying to sell themselves. I just didn't see it in the Republican convention where the Republican presidents come out to support our former President Trump. Then I also look at the wife, the spouse. I didn't see the spouse on that stage, so it gave me a funny feeling about that. The chemistry was not there. With the Democratic Convention, they put up a good show. I'm not saying, like Brother Jonathan said, it's just a dog and pony show. It's all lies or it's all emotions or just a party. But still to see, the likes of, President Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama and President Clinton and the speaker, all of these powerhouses. And, people follow people. You know how many millions of followers President Obama has? You know how many millions of followers Oprah Winfrey has? I mean, Michelle Obama and even Beyonce, they're using her music for freedom. It's gonna be almost like, okay, they put up a good dog and pony show. It was a good party, and like Brother Jonathan said, people are gonna vote on emotions and on how the party felt and all that, even though it might be wrong. But that's just what we think may happen. That's why I think the VP Kamala Harris is going to become the first, female president of the United States, and the first African American or Asian heritage, the first woman. So there's a lot of first everything. So that's what I think may drive. May not be the policies. I think those things may drive who people vote for. First woman to be the president, first African American woman, first Asian heritage woman. I just think all that the first may actually drive people to vote for her. That's what I think. Anyway, I want to thank you. Okay, I've got one comment. I've got one comment from Jeanette. A loving God is in control. Always pray and stay focused. Thank you very much. We know God is in control, but you got to get out and vote, okay? Olufemi, Trump now trying to sell himself. He told you what it's about and is letting you decide to pull out of all these stops to get your vote. It means you people don't really that your people don't really back you, that you know people don't really back you. Well, okay, I think Olufemi is saying that Trump is not trying to sell himself. He told you what he's going to do, and he's letting you decide. You sound like your brother. Your brother told me, Raymond told me, Dad, you know, if somebody doesn't like me, and I know they don't like me, and they told me they don't like me, he said, I can dig what they're doing. But when you don't like me, but you're smiling in my face. That's what Raymond told me. He said, Dad, I know he may not like black people. I know he may not even like me, but at least he told me he doesn't like me. So anyway, I want to thank all of you for being with me tonight. We're going to invite you all back if you all are available on next week. I'm going to add you to the panel again. And I thank you all. I really got some insight from all of you. Lady Betty, thank you so much for always being a voice that can be reckoned with on our program. Thank you very much, Lady Betty, for being on our program tonight. Brother Keon, thank you. I believe it's your first time on my program. Thank you for being with us. I hope you can join us again on next Thursday. And Brother Jonathan, I'm going to have Brother Jonathan back probably for the rest of the year when I have any topic. That brother there, if you all don't know him, by the way, you all need to go check out they have a podcast called We Just Be Talking. You've got to check them out. I'm telling you, very real. They don't know, no capping. They come up and tell you the way things are. That's what I love about these young people. So, Brother Jonathan Mas, thank you very much for taking time out to join me tonight. Everyone joining us online, we thank you. This is yours truly, Pastor Akin Bandele, on this week's edition of What's Going On. I pray that everybody is well, everybody stays safe, everybody make sure you mobilize and go out and vote. Vote your conscience. God bless you. We love you all. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
All right.